Andrew, are you ready to have a real debate about the UMSL tapes?
What?
Are you ready to have a real debate about the UMSL tapes? Your smear job on UMSL professors?
Does Washington University know that you're here? Does Washington University know that its employee is here using its resources to smear private citizens? Does Washington University know that its staff
Why are you
members here
using a
to attack
mob?
people?
Why are you so afraid to debate?
Why are you so afraid to address Washington University employees?
On being able to have a debate and like actually.
Kitty cats.
Yes, that's very cool. But you're completely.
What do you feel about the idea of throwing cats into electric power facilities in order to kill them, in order to bring out about blackouts in communities on behalf of unions trying to cause
that was a discussion of union tactics that were used, but it was not an argument. It was not an argument that they should use that.
I just answered you. Okay. Secondly, what do you feel about union thugs going up to people and calling them the N-word?
That did not happen.
That did happen against
no, I was at the trial. You guys were out there.
Were you on the payroll?
Yes, I was at the trial.
SEIU said that you were an SEIU blogger.
No, I'm not. I've never been paid anything by SEIU.
Are you saying that SEIU lied?
Let me answer. I'm the one who's being challenged.
Exactly.
Dana, I'm here. You get.
Don't deprive Breitbart of his manhood.
Okay, wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, why did you have to use that? Why did you have to go there? I haven't.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. So what can you?
There's strike one.
You're distracting. Okay, go ahead and answer the question, please.
Okay. Secondly, what do you feel about the idea that the day that Kenneth Gladney was beaten up in plain sight with dozens of witnesses?
That's false.
Let me answer the question. If you're going to interrupt every time
you answer any of my questions?
SEIU.
Okay, look, I'm answering your questions right here.
What question are you answering?
You're saying that I'm a coward. You're asking why am I a coward not to debate you. I am here to answer, and I'm starting to tell you my point here.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, Kenneth Gladney was beaten up on the day that the Deputy White House Chief of Staff said, punch them back twice as hard when the town halls were starting to ask questions. Citizens asking questions of their democratically elected representatives. The same day.
So you think there was a grand conspiracy?
I'm right now. The same day. Okay, it's certainly more of a conspiracy than Sarah Palin on an obscure part of her website having targets.
I agree. That was ridiculous.
And it causing some. Well, it became a national discussion led by the Democrat-led media, saying that she was somehow responsible and I was somehow responsible, and the Daily Kos blamed me for that.
I know.
They blamed me for it. Okay.
I agree. It's easy for both sides to do that. But why does that justify you doing it?
Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. The same day that the Deputy White House Chief of Staff, Jim Messina.
That's not cause and effect.
No, I haven't given you the full argument. The same day, Jim Messina says, "Get in the punch back twice as hard." The head of the AFL-CIO, John Sweeney, writes a letter to the rank and file of the union to get in their faces. So now you have
this is metaphorical. Metaphorical talk.
If you don't want to hear my take,
all right. If you're going to allow me to respond, are you going to allow me to respond? Okay.
I'm giving you the whole case.
All right, go for it.
And I'm telling you what happened.
Okay.
You don't want the truth to come out.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. Because you stop me every time. I'm giving you it. Okay. So Jim Messina says, punch back twice as hard. You've got John Sweeney saying, get in their face. Wow. Who's visited the White House more than anyone than the SEIUs at the time, Andy Stern? Okay.
So?
The SEIU shows up. Makes sure that the people that intended to go to the town hall aren't able to go into the doors. So all the people that are sitting there are now supporters of Carnahan.
There were two sets of doors.
I'm answering. I'm going to leave if you keep interrupting when I'm trying to tell the narrative. Because I'll talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere, and my history shows that. Okay? How many times have I met you?
0.
This is called 1. You can't even get that right.
Oh, that's a good burn, man. You got me on that one.
You're 1 for 1. You're 1 for 1 on getting me. So you're not going to get the narrative that I run away from people. Okay?
But you've been running away for the last 2 weeks. You tried to run out a side door
when
I was over there.
You ran out
a side door.
When your
right
car
here.
is parked here, it's not called a side door.
Yeah, but you were dropped off in front.
Where?
I'm driving with them. I was dropped off by Andre Harper.
Okay.
My car.
You teetotal it out to the left.
You're boring.
Oh, you're supposed to finish your narrative.
I am.
Summit? Why didn't you go to Smart Girl Summit? Why haven't you called into any?
I never saw you at Smart Girl Summit. Anyone that came up to me at Smart Girl Summit, did you go to Smart Girl Summit?
You didn't even respond to a tweet.
What?
Do you know how many tweets he gets?
How many tweets do you think he
But did you go to Smart Girl Summit?
He brags constantly about being willing to respond to anyone, and he refused to respond, despite the fact
You've never called
yes, 15 people all tweeted Breitbart at the same time, telling him to debate the facts on the Umsel thing, and he were completely afraid.
$10,000 to debate you anytime, any place.
Me?
I put out there $10,000.
I'm not Eric Bullard, man.
No, I offered $10,000
To debate me?
Anyone that wants to debate me, and I'll give it to a charity.
I accept.
Okay, $10,000. You get $10,000, and I'll debate you.
It's about 10,000. Why won't you have a debate just for the sake of honest argument?
Because I've offered to debate people that I think that are worthy of a debate. I don't think that your tactics are fair. I've watched.
What's unfair?
I don't watch.
What's unfair about them?
Because you only care about your side. You don't care about a black guy by the name of Kenneth Gladney. You have not advocated.
I have never accused Gladney of anything.
He's not a Republican or a conservative. Why is he claiming that he got attacked? Why are there dozens of people that surrounded him who say that he was attacked by people who were told to go there? Why are people?
There were 3 witnesses for the prosecution, 3 witnesses for the defense. I was at the trial, and you guys were not at the trial. You guys weren't even at the trial. You don't even know what happened there.
You weren't there when it happened.
It's okay to beat up.
Brian was at the event. Brian was arrested.
Why is it okay to beat up a black guy?
It's
absolutely
not okay to beat up a conservative black man. It's absolutely not. It is absolutely not, but that's not what happened. There were 3 witnesses for both sides. There is no proof. You cannot just go around declaring that there's a massive government conspiracy from the White House beating up innocent black people without any evidence.
They took the direction. It was not a direct. This was the message that was sent.
He's the one who makes the accusations.
Why did the SEIU show up in full force and make sure that no regular citizens were able to be there? Why are you?
Wasn't Dana in the room? Wasn't Dana in the room that day? They were allowed in there. They were regular citizens.
I was in there.
There were 2 separate doors. They were allowing people in.
You're lying. I was actually there. You were not. But you were at that NAACP press conference where the SEIU called you their blogger, and you sat there and you laughed as they called him an Uncle Tom.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. It's on camera.
Present video proof of that, please. Why don't you present video proof?
It's online.
No, there's not.
Yes.
No.
But because
I was in the crowd. I was in the crowd, but I didn't laugh at it. I was in the crowd, but I didn't laugh at it.
The black conservatives here who are here to defend Kenneth Gladney because he's just like Clarence Thomas.
You're the one who led a smear campaign against a black Baptist minister, declaring him without any evidence to have attacked, to be a thug and attack an innocent person.
He is a thug.
No, you're smearing him. You have no evidence. You can't just make these accusations without evidence.
I have every right. It's called the First Amendment. He's a thug.
Yeah, why don't you talk to
He's
a
a
black
thug.
woman?
Because I'm here to debate Andrew Breitbart.
The SEIU has behaved as
On
thugs.
record, he doesn't care about
The public
black
sector unions have behaved deplorably. We've caught it on camera countless times. You know that they have carte blanche by the media to go out there and to use intemperate words, to act in an offensive manner, to dominate public forums, to get in people's faces, to push them, to rip their clothes off like it happened that night in town.
That is absurd. Why do you make these accusations with no evidence?
The same night there's video of SEIU attacking a guy in Tampa. The same night that Kenneth Gladney was attacked. The same night that SEIU attacked.
I don't know much about it, but it's probably based as just as flimsy evidence as your Kenneth Gladney case, because you have no evidence whatsoever.
We've had a great time.
What about Umsel? Why do you think it's okay to smear Umsel professors? by manipulating their words.
I didn't manipulate anything. The 31 hours.
So it's okay for you.
You make it public. You make the 31 hours
You
public.
don't need to make public 30 hours to know that you've manipulated a quote by cutting and splicing it.
Suppress the truth.
No, you cannot. As a citizen,
the 31 hours.
Who edited the video?
No, I didn't.
Who edited it?
Wait, I stand by the video.
You stand by it?
I stand by it.
Yeah, you haven't issued a retraction. Did you watch the 30 hours before you posted it?
Have you
guys watched the 30 hours before you posted the video?
Yes.
Before it was posted?
Why don't you want it up
Before it was posted, yes?
Have you? Yes. Have you?
Okay, good to know. Good to know. I've watched enough to know that it was a lie. I've watched enough to know what lies were.
Why is it okay to brag?
I know that
killing cats in order to.
Have you watched all 14 hours?
Because they were describing a tactic, not endorsing a tactic, Andrew. It's a difference.
Have you watched all 14 hours?
It's a difference.
The Communist Party member to recruit them in saying that the Democratic Party isn't radical enough.
Wait a second.
They invited him. I have no idea why they invited him, but that doesn't justify you manipulating people's quotes.
Have you watched 14 hours?
You pick the topic.
You have even.
I'll debate you another time, but I'm here to see you.
You haven't watched the full video footage,
yes.
but you're demanding everyone else has. We
Yes, I
know more
will.
about this
Okay, how
than you
about
do.
nowish?
What's
We've
that?
actually watched the full footage. You just admitted that
You watched
haven't.
it and you
No,
changed
we
Judy Ansel's
watched-
quote.
No, we didn't.
You
She
changed
misquoted
Judy
the movie.
Ansel's quote.
How would you even know?
Misquoting
Because
it
you
doesn't
haven't
mean
even
she
seen
made
it.
the comment
No,
herself.
she quoted the movie inaccurately. and
That
was
does not
recorded
mean
at.
that she
Why
endorsed the
haven't you
quote
watched
herself.
the full 14
You
hours?
cannot change
Answer my
someone's
question.
quote
Why haven't you watched the
to
full 14
falsely
hours?
claim.
Why haven't you watched the full 14 hours?
I
You're
watched
no,
enough to know
you're
a lie.
You're debating
It's easy
about
to
it.
see a
Why
lie.
haven't you watched the full 14
If I
hours?
watch enough to see that you
Answer my
guys have
question.
cut and spliced,
Why haven't you watched
that means
the full
that it's a
14
dishonest
hours?
edit.
You haven't
It's a
watched
dishonest
it, but you're going
edit
to come out
if you
here and try
guys
to
cut
talk.
and
No,
splice.
you're going to answer
Andrew,
my
I thought you
question.
didn't like running away.
You're
Isn't
gonna
your
answer my
car out
question.
How
here?
am I running away?
Isn't your car out here?
Why haven't you watched the full 14
Didn't
hours?
you just say that?
Why
The
haven't you
car
watched
is
the
out here,
full
but we
14
don't
hours?
want you to know what I'm driving in.
You've already
Okay.
stopped my children, and I'm terrified that you're
right.
you're
Stalk your
creeping me out.
children.
Okay.
You haven't.
What's your justification for that
Stalk the
claim?
website where my children are on. I don't know.
Okay, so
if
that's
you are.
stalking your children is
I'm
clicking on your
I'm gonna
mommy
show
blog.
it.
I will sit there and watch the 31 hours with you, along with Eric Bollert and anyone from the progressive movement, as long as the mainstream media is there to discuss what's on those 31
So you'll debate
hours.
me if the mainstream media is there?
If the mainstream media is there, along with
Me or
Eric
only
Bollert.
Eric Bollert?
No, all of us.
I know more about these Amsel cases than
I don't need the
Bollert
mainstream
because
You didn't
I'm
know about
local.
Bollert. You didn't know about. You haven't watched the 31 hours,
Yes, no,
and you don't. Here, let me just
I've watched-
let me just say one final thing. Let me finish without you talking
No
over.
cameras.
Why is it that you're afraid of putting the 31 hours up there? It would make your
It
case for
violates
avoidance.
student privacy
No, it
rights.
didn't. They advocated.
No,
in the
it
video.
violates student.
What?
There's a law called FERPA. You're not allowed to post
put the
personal
transcript.
information of students online,
Okay,
dude.
then let's put the transcript of what the professor said.
With the students' names blocked out.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't need the students'
It's fine
names
with me.
involved.
I don't know why Amsel did.
That's it. That's it.
But that
That's
doesn't
it.
look, Andrew.
No, I've
Can
watched
I
it.
ask you one
It's
question?
patently
Can I just ask you one question?
It's patently
Can I ask you a question?
We're leaving now.
Why do you
Standing
think
right
it's
here.
okay to manipulate video?
Why do you think it's okay to?
You don't need to
for
watch
SEIU people
30
to
minutes.
black people? Why do you think
You don't
that's
need to
okay?
watch 30 hours of video to see that 20 seconds have been
Yeah.
taken out of context. If you take
the video
someone's
tells
quote,
the truth.
cut out the middle of
video
it,
tells
and
the
put
truth.
something
The
else
video
in,
tells the
that's a
truth.
dishonest
The video
lie.
tells the truth.
Why do you
video tells the
dishonestly
truth.
edit people's tapes?